Today I'll be making a strawberry lemongrass ice cream, and for a base I'm going to be using both cottage cheese and yogurt, Greek yogurt, because that's what I had on hand. I didn't quite have enough of each. I like full cottage cheese ice creams, I like full milk ice creams and cream, and I also like full yogurts with the Greek. So I'm going to mix them today. And I was a little intimidated about using lemongrass. I've never used it in cooking before. So I Googled it, and basically I just peeled off the outer layer. I bought the lemongrass at an Asian market. I think I went to H Mart. And basically I peeled off the outside, and it smelled really good while I was peeling it, so that was encouraging. And now I'm just gonna slice it, and it says to bruise it, so that it's kind of used as a spice. It's not, you're not going to actually like eat the lemongrass. I think you can in soups and things if it's thinly sliced, but today I'm going to slice it. Sorry, I'm not going to slice it. I'm going to chop it in half, and then I'm just going to use the side of my knife, move this over, to bruise it. So I'm just going to press down, kind of like you would with garlic, with a head of garlic. So that's releasing some of the oils in the lemongrass. And then I'm going to cook this with my strawberries, make a nice sauce, and then I'm going to add it to the ice cream base. So I think that's pretty good. So now I'm going to move over to the stove, and I'm going to start cooking. I think I will do 2 of these stalks in my sauce today, and I'll be adding some other things too. Over medium heat, I'm going to add a little bit of butter to my pan. If you're cutting back on the calories, you can not use butter. You can use, you can just put the strawberries in without any kind of oil, or you can use olive oil or some healthier type of, you could use Pam, something like that, but you really don't need to use anything. The reason I'm using butter is I like to have a nice thick sauce. I decided for this one that I'm going to make my sauce, and then I'm going to add about half of it to my ice cream base, and then half of it I'm going to reserve to put over the ice cream, because I always think it's good to have a sauce. I love sauces. So I went ahead and cut up the whole basket. It was a 1-pound basket of strawberries. So I'm going to add this whole thing to my pan. I just sliced them. You don't have to slice them, but I think that's the best. For me, works out the best. So I'm just going to cook these for maybe about 5 minutes. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to add my lemongrass. As I said, I bruised these, so I'm just going to add them like that. As I said, you're not going to eat the lemongrass, you're not going to blend it up or anything. You're just going to, we're going to cook the sauce with it, and then we're going to take it out kind of like we would with any herb. And we're going to go by taste to see what's good. After this cooks down, we're going to add a little bit of alcohol. We're going to add a little vanilla, a little sugar. Actually, I'm going to be adding, instead of sugar, I'm going to be adding Swerve and a regular monk fruit sweetener that I got from Costco. So I'll let this cook down for about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. This has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and you can see some of the juices are starting to come out of the strawberries, which is perfect. You can mash the strawberries, or you can leave them as slices. It all depends on how you want your sauce to be. Some people like their sauce to have mashed fruit in it, and other people like it to be completely blended. And for me, I like it to have some semblance of looking like a slice, but have a nice sauce surrounding it. So I'm going to add 2 medjool dates, and I've taken the pits out and sliced them in quarters. You can slice these smaller if you want. It doesn't really matter, but that's going to help with sweetness and emulsification. I've started using dates a lot in my ice creams because it's a nice healthy way to add, it adds some fiber to the ice cream, and it seems to blend up really nicely. And it also, you don't need to add as much sugar when you're using dates because they do have some sweetness to them. So I'm just going to let that cook, and I'm going to add a few of my seasonings. One thing I always add when I'm cooking with fruit is a little bit of salt. It's going to help bring the flavor out. It sounds like I added a lot, but it wasn't coming out at first, so I just added maybe, I don't know, just a I mean, I can't even measure it. Not even a quarter of a teaspoon, just a tiny bit. It helps the flavors to come out. It just, you won't taste, the ice cream won't taste salty. And we'll double check our base to make sure that it's not salty. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla. Vanilla I can add more than, I kind of want a little bit of a vanilla taste. So I added maybe about 2 teaspoons. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice. I'm going to add the juice of 1 lemon. This is a really juicy lemon. It's not very big, but it's very juicy. I'm just being careful not to let the seeds go in there. If I do accidentally get a seed in there, I'll just fish it out. This is going to help make a nice sauce as well. I find that citrus always helps with fruit-based, actually with any ice cream. Almost all my ice creams I use a little bit of citrus, but especially with fruit-based ones. And then I'm going to add a little bit of triple sec. I always like to add a little bit of alcohol to my sauces. It helps to make a nice thick sauce. I'm not going to add too much. I don't want it to catch fire. I just want to help it to make a nice sauce. And now you can see there's a lot of juice, which is great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm just going to stir this around a bit. I'm going to turn my heat down and I'm going to simmer this for quite a while. And I don't even need to stand here. I'm just going to, after I turn it down, I'm just going to let it go so that it can impart some of the flavors that I've added, especially that lemongrass. I want that to come out. As for lemongrass, let me turn this down. As for lemongrass, you can get it from the market like I did, or you can use the little tubes of lemongrass paste, and that's going to be a lot easier. I've used that before too, and it's good. I wanted to try the actual whole lemongrass today to see if there would be any difference in taste, or if it's going to be better, worse, the same. We'll see. So I'm going to let this cook down for a bit. We'll see how long it takes. What I'm looking for is for the liquid to get a little thicker, and then I'll add my sugar. Now that this is cooked down for a while, you can see the sauce is nice and thickened. Now I'm ready to add my sugar. So for sugar, I use this Swerve brown sugar because I find it makes a nice sauce. Thickens well, and it's got a really nice brown sugar flavor. I can't really tell the difference between regular brown sugar and Swerve brown sugar made with, I believe it's made with monk fruit. It says it's plant-based. Not sure on this one. I added about, I'd say it was probably about half a cup, maybe third a cup of sugar. And now I'm going to stir it in. And as you can see, the sauce, it gets nice, rich, dark red color. Looks nice. I'm going to cook this for another few minutes just to get it all incorporated. And then I'm going to taste the sauce and I'm going to adjust my seasonings. I might add more sugar depending on the strawberries, how sweet they are. I might add a little more salt if I find the flavor's not coming out enough. One thing I think I'm going to add, now that I think of it, I like to add pepper. Sounds funny, but I like to add pepper to my strawberries. Just a little bit of cracked pepper. It's really good. I don't know how it works. It just does something on the tongue and makes it taste, makes the taste of the strawberry brighter to me. Okay, so I'm going to stir this, cook it for another couple minutes, and then I'll be ready to put it into my Ninja pint and mix my other ingredients to make my ice cream base. First thing I'm going to do is take out the lemongrass because it's really tough. So I'm just going to, I used it to flavor. So I'm just going to move that to the side. And then I'm going to take half of this sauce and I'm going to put it in my Ninja. And I'm not going to worry about blending it. You can blend it, you don't have to. I'm just going to stir it by hand. I'm not going to worry about getting exactly half. I'm just going to put however much of this that I feel like into my pint, depending on how much strawberry, how I want it to taste, more strawberry or more like the cream. And I'm trying to get most of the date, because the date is going to be really good to mix up the ice cream, but it's not going to be as good for having a big chunk of date in the sauce. It's not going to be as good. So I think that's pretty. I'm looking to see if there's any more date pieces. I think that's perfect. What I have now is going to make a great sauce. And what I have in here, although it's kind of messy, it's a nice beginning to my ice cream. So now I'm ready to add my Greek yogurt. The order doesn't matter. Grab a spoon. It's nice I have a drawer right behind me because I forget sometimes when I'm setting up to do spoons. So as far as how much, I'm going to estimate about a cup. It's probably good. Now for my cottage cheese. About a cup. Now I'm going to add a little bit of cheesecake flavored Jell-O. Sometimes I add different flavors. I'm just going to add a little bit, so it's not going to be cheesecake heavy. It's just going to have, it's going to help with emulsification, and it's going to be, I'd say that's probably, I'm saying about half a teaspoon. You can add more if you want more of that flavor, or you don't have to use it if you don't like to use these kinds of things. I'm going to use monk fruit sweetener from Costco. I don't remember how much this was, but it's a pretty reasonable price. So I'm just going to add some, because remember I added sugar to my strawberries, and it was really tasty, but it wasn't super sweet. It was tangy and delicious. So I'm guessing that's probably about half a cup. Now I'm going to stir this up and then taste, and then I'll adjust my seasonings. After mixing this up, it tastes really good, and it's right about to the right spot. One thing I forgot to add is a little bit of the lemon zest. I zested the lemon that I juiced, so I'm going to add that. Just add a little brightness. It's always good in the fruit ice creams. So now I'm ready to freeze. It's been 24 hours, and now I'm ready to spin this. I'm going to spin it on the regular ice cream setting because it's half cottage cheese, half yogurt, so I could probably do either one. After spinning this, I actually changed my mind. I spun it on yogurt because it had so much yogurt in it. I changed my mind, and I did a respin, and it looks good now. So I'm ready to spoon it out. And so far the feel of it is really nice. It looks soft and creamy. Perfect. So here's how it looks. And now I'm going to put a little bit of topping over it. This is the topping I reserved. Now it looks even better. And now it's time to taste. It's really good. I think it has just the right amount of strawberry in it. And I believe I can taste the lemongrass. It's subtle, but I think it's good.